morning. This is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I got a very important show, got a very important man on the show. First off, I'd like to let everybody know this is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the host of the Bradley Report. And I'll need to let you all know that this show is happening because my wife, who is the chairman of United Peace Inc., has produced this show. Now that I done cleared that out and made life a little simpler for me, I want to let everybody know I got the speaker, the first African-American speaker of the Illinois House, and that's Speaker Welch. I got 15 minutes of his time because I know he's a busy man. So, Brother Welch, I want to first thank you for coming in. I'll catch you again in April or May, but I just want to let everybody know who you are. Could you share what your agenda is going to be for the state? You know what I mean? And I just got 2 or 3 things to throw at you. On you, sir.
Hey, Gator, good to be with you here today, United in Peace. I know sir. We've been trying to have this conversation for a while now, so it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you. I'm truly honored and privileged to be here with you as the 70th Speaker of the Illinois House and the first African-American in 203 years to ever hold this job. And I got to tell you that means the world to me and my family and folks all across this state. And so, we got to roll up our sleeves and get to work and not just be happy with the fact that we hold a seat. Now it's important that we leave an important legacy. And, we got some important things that we got to deal with right away. Of course, we got to deal with getting COVID under control and get our communities vaccinated. We got to pass a responsible budget that makes sure our communities are not overlooked. We got to rebuild trust in this legislature. And so ethics reform is really important to me. If people don't trust us, we can't get anything done. We got to rebuild trust in the legislature, and that's really important. And then, of course, redistricting. Representation is important. And I think it's extremely important that, we continue to have diversity reflected in our maps. Equal representation is extremely important. And we got to make sure whatever maps that are put on the governor's desk reflect the strength of our state, which is diversity. And anything less than that, that's not a fair map.
Right. 3 things that's important. You and I have talked about it. One of the most important things, as you know, the President of the United States has came out and publicly said that he's against systemic racism. You know what I mean? Okay, be it in the corporate, be it in the political realm, be it in the schools, be it in the educational piece. And I know that you are a strong supporter against systemic racism, be it corporate systemic racism. And what we're doing with McDonald's corporate systemic racism. You know what I mean? And it's like we work. I'm getting some feedback, but hey, we're gonna make it do what it do. I'd like for you to let the people know publicly where you stand on that issue of the systemic racism across the board.
Well, if you look at my record before I became speaker, I've probably been one of the most vocal voices on ending systemic racism. I have been a champion for corporate board diversity, led the fight to make Illinois corporations reveal the makeup of their corporate boards so that we can ensure that we're represented around the corporate board table. If we're represented around the corporate board table, their policies would be different, would impact us different. And I believe that if we're going to spend our monies in these corporations, they should at least put us around the board table to help them determine how to spend the money they're making off of our communities. It's extremely important. I also believe in supplier diversity. I've worked on supplier diversity my whole life. But more than that, now that I'm Speaker of the House, equity, which has always been my lens, it has been amplified. We have to make sure that our communities are not overlooked, and we have to be represented in every single aspect of government. There's a $70 billion will come through the legislature this year. How is that hitting the Black community? That's extremely important to me, whether it's in education, healthcare, economic opportunities, you name it. Equity has to be the center of everything we do. And I'm pleased that the governor has signed the Black Caucus Pillar bills. So far, he signed our criminal justice reform bill. He signed our education reform package. And yesterday, he signed our economic opportunity bill. And we got one more to go, one more, and that's our healthcare bill, because that's extremely important to me and our caucus, because equity is the center of everything we do.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that. Man, I'm so glad. Because we got this piece is going, I'm going to Georgia on April the 1st, dealing with the Don't Be McFood peaceful educational protest, okay, against McDonald's corporate systemic racism, okay, against African Americans, especially the franchisees. They used to have 370 franchisees. Now they only have 180. So I'll get in touch with Sean and let him see where we're going, because we got congressmen that's writing letters in support of that, and I'll touch with Sean, you know, to let him know what's happening, and hopefully we can get a letter of support from your office. And the four pillars, you named three, and you're waiting for the fourth one, which is the health. You know what I mean? To get the governor to sign on board. One of the things that I see you as being the speaker is being that bridge to reconciliation across the state with the governor to help him right whatever wrongs he may have done, because we all make mistakes. We human beings. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. But one of the things is wonderful that he signed all those bills, but he needs to enforce the Nursing Home Care Act, Section 8, against those nursing homes that's not in compliance, because it is an Illinois statute. You know what I mean? And you know, I've been helping Loretta Brady, because you know her mother died, Loretta Smith, at Salva, Westchester, within your district. You've been very much a part of helping to try to get things right. But now God has blessed you to be the man to help get things right. And I don't want the governor to have a Como situation or problem in terms of nursing home. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's something that he can do, you know, while we are waiting for him to address your concerns on the health thing. You know what I mean? And another thing, because I know I got a short time with you, Speaker, the job thing that we're doing that in Will County, you may have heard about the 10,000 jobs that can come to Illinois if only the governor will give instructions to the Illinois Department of Transportation or whatever it is. And especially with, you got the support from Senator Dick Durbin, Senator Duckworth, Congressman Bobby Rush, Congressman Robin Kelly, who's now the chairman of the state Democratic Party. That's a wonderful thing. And also the guy, I don't want to mess his name up, but he's the only Republican that I know from Illinois that voted to impeach Trump. You know what I mean?
Adam Kinzinger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the governor got everything to make everything work for him. I'm with him, I support him. I'm a constructive criticist, if that's the correct word, of him, only because I'm accountable to the voters who I convinced to vote for him, because I knew he would be a great governor. You know what I mean? Now that you the speaker, if it's such a word is greater, later, he could be that governor. You know, so
well, hopefully. Let me say this, Gator. besides being the first Black lawmaker to ever hold this job, the
Right.
fact that I'm from the suburbs is very significant. And I want to use a metaphor here when I say that I believe I'm a bridge to
Yes.
uniting the state.
Yes.
We got those who want to, divide Chicago and downstate from each other. And we can't do that. We have to be united. We have to be one state. And being someone, I don't have a single precinct from Chicago in my district.
Right. That's
And
right.
I'm not from downstate. But I see my role to bring us together as one state, because working together is what's going to move us forward. And I have a great relationship with the governor, and I'm looking forward to working with him and making sure
Right.
he hears your concerns. Because just like you say to me all the time, and right behind you, it takes all of us.
Yeah,
And
it do.
we can't be divided. It takes all of us. And we have to work together if we're going to hit these challenges that we face head on and lift up Illinois. And so, man, I'm looking forward to working with you and getting some great things done. And we're going to make sure the governor is working with us too.
Please share that with him. We already know. He probably know. He watching the show. He gonna watch it too. But he knows, man. You know what I mean? I'm
Everybody
with him.
watches the Gator Bradley show.
Right, right. And I wanna say this too. Um, I'm glad that the settlement worked out for the brothers in the institution behind that COVID piece. And if it wasn't for the legislative body that was pushing to try to help with this COVID, because it caught everybody by surprise. Nobody was prepared for this. You understand what I'm saying, Speaker? And lastly, I want to say to your staff, I appreciate them for helping me to pin you down for this 15 minutes. They may seem this as being a 15 minutes of fame. I'm taking this as 15 minutes of your precious time to let my viewing and listening audience know that you believe in getting the trust of the voters. You believe in reaching across the floor to get with Republicans. I was just reading this piece by Illinois House Republican leader Jim Durbin saying he'd like to meet with you, especially where you stated about attempting to change the state income tax structure from a flat rate to a graduated rate system at some point. Okay, and like you said, you suggesting tying the proposal to something specific, such as addressing pension obligations, as opposed to just asking voters to allow us to go to the progressive tax. Okay, that's a good move, because if you let the people know how the money is going to be spent that you're asking for, all they want is transparency and truth. You know what I mean? That's all they want. And one thing, now that the House and the state, federal government, and the president, they all have let it be known that they have no problem with getting the special project monies coming back to the states. And that's going to help the governor, that's going to help state reps, that's going to help state senators, and that's going to help you, Speaker. And this last thing, I'm glad of your leadership that you have. And the fund that used to be mannequins is now going to be the Democratic fund. And like you said, all the other Democratic members got to help you with that fund. And with that, folks, I got to let the speaker go. You know what I mean? And I want to say, to God be the glory. May continue to bless you and your family. Bless your leadership. Okay? And I want to say, that's our story. Thank you, sir. Stay washed up. And hey, I took my shots, man.
That's it, Gator. There you go. It takes all of us. Everybody get that shot.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Well, I had it for 15 minutes. And I may have a little time to finish my show on some other issues.